Hey, good morning, Massimo. Hope you are feeling better. Morning, Hugo. We'll start the class soon. Morning, Oliver. Morning, Jack. We just a couple of minutes and then we start the class. Okay, so to keep everyone busy, I want you to study these two storyboards. So the first one, figure 1.4, and the second one is the one below. So would you give this a thought? We are going to discuss about these pictures and what do they mean with respect to your project and teamwork. Morning, Liam. Liam, I don't remember meeting you in the computer labs. Do you teammates and do you know about your projects? All right, you know your teammate, that's great. Let me know if you need any help. All right, thank you for that, Liam. And here I've got Abhishek in class. Morning, Abhishek. Also, Daniel is here. Morning, Daniel. Morning. Just wait for a few minutes. We need to have more students in class, and then we start. Okay. Jackie Lim. Morning, Jackie.
Morning, sir.
Morning, and Jamie Sue is here. Morning, Jamie. And Liam Manov is also here. Manov. Morning, Manov. And Mansoor is also with us. Morning, Mansoor. And Massimo, Mansoor, Min Hai. Yes, morning, Min Hai. And Minat also. Good. Orlando is also here. Morning, Orlando. Okay, while I'm completing the attendance, I want everyone to watch the two images on the screen, which I've shared on the screen. I want you to give this a thought, and then that would be the starting argument. We want to have a discussion in the class. So what these two images mean to everyone in terms of completing the teams. Please try to correlate that to your project, and then we discuss that from there. Okay, Oliver, Orlando, Rossan is also here. Rossan, I hope you feel better now. We missed you last week. And Shai is also here. Morning, Shai. And Soul is also here. Soul, morning, Soul. And Tyler, morning, Tyler. And Varun, I think Varun I already, yeah, Varun. Okay, Varun, good to have you in class, morning. And finally is Yang. All right, I think I'm going to complete the rest of attendance at the end of the class. So far, I managed to capture a number of attendees. So here, I'm posing a question. All right, so these two images, the first one is a classical example that is being taken from a Bible for the engineering design. So that is a typical case when the user or the client wanted a swing and then the project sponsor enforce their view. These are different stakeholders which are in every project, including your project. So in your project, the project sponsor, I think that's either your teacher or that's the Engineering Without Borders challenge. And then project request. Okay, so they had some similarity with the project sponsor, but quite different. Morning grant, and then senior designer, which could be you. They have this one design in the third, in the top row, right? And then manufacturing unit has done it in their ways. These are different stakeholders. And suddenly, when they find this is not usable, this is not workable, at the installation side, they had to make some amendment to make this practical, but this is not still practical. But compare that with what really the user wanted. Okay, the user wanted something simple, practical, and all right. So who wants to start a discussion regarding that? I mean, anyone, feel free to share us with you with the class your view on this story, this sad story. That's fine. You can leave earlier if you need. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Anyone else? Do you want to share something relevant to project with the class? Please. Everyone is waiting for you. All right. If you don't choose, I have to pick someone. Okay, go on, Mansour. What do you think?
Well, they obviously didn't consider what the customer really wanted, and
So you're saying they didn't understand the problem. Is that what you're saying, Mansour?
that's correct.
Okay, that's a very good conclusion. I really like that. Very concise, very spot on. That's the problem. And in most of the cases, if we don't understand the problem, we cannot solve it. This is such a big question. People say that if you understand the problem, you have almost gone 50% of doing the projects. Just by understanding the problem is 50% of solving the problem. If you think that's exaggeration, believe me, I have done many problem solving, and it takes some time for you to get all the information and make sure that you and client are in the same page. You understand exactly what they want. All right, now I have a question for everyone in the class. I want everyone to give an honest answer to this question. Can I ask everyone just picking one of these options for the projects? I'm waiting for you to answer. Okay, so far we have Anjana, not sure. Alex is not sure. Jack knows what the problem is. Jamie, Sue knows what the problem is. Mansoor is not sure. Manav, not sure. Masumi knows what the problem is. Minhai, not sure. Oliver, oh, Oliver, I'm surprised you're not sure. And Orlando is not sure. And Ruslan, not sure. Sebastian, not sure. Shay knows what the problem is. Well done, Shay. Okay, so, and this question is not to blame anyone. All right, so we are here to help you. So the sooner you understand the problem, the more secure you are with completing your project. So the reason, there might be multiple reasons if you don't know, if you are not sure what the problem is. But that here, I'm trying to help you get whatever information which is needed to make your decision, to find out exactly what the problem is before you can go for the solution. That's the most awkward, most naive things to do, to attempt solving a problem without understanding the problem. So here today, you want to make sure everyone knows what it takes, or they gather enough information with different respects of the dimensions of the problem. And once you have all the information, reliable, precise, accurate information, you are in the position to propose a solution. Okay, so everyone knows. And the second one, well, that's a very responsible thing. This guy has been paid 6 months salary, and then when he brings the solution to his boss, he says, oh, we need more money. Oh, that's I mean, even a child knew that. You didn't have to charge company for 6 months salary to give that stupid answer. Hopefully that doesn't apply to anyone in this class, and everyone in the class, they just look for understanding the problem before bringing alternative. And here you see different concepts, right? So these are different concepts for the same problem, but some of these concepts are not feasible, some of them they are over constrained, some of them they are far from what the client wanted. And then believe me, that sad story applies to everyone everywhere. To get us started, I mean, acknowledgement of the country. And then here, I have a short video I want everyone to watch. These are people in the industry being interviewed, and they are talking about understanding the problem. Let's listen to them and see what they say.
I think the best way to understand a problem is not from maybe an office behind a computer, but actually to go and have a look at the problem. We used to have to replace a particular gearbox quite often. You look at it written on a piece of paper, and we broke that gearbox, been replaced 5 times in the last 2 years. But when we went and looked at the problem, there was a process error where a block was falling and damaging the gearbox. The gearbox wasn't wearing out; the gearbox was being damaged. So it was simply a matter of making a guard which covered the gearbox, which deflected the block off, and that solved the problem. The gearbox didn't need to be replaced; it wasn't wearing out. We just engineered our way around. If we hadn't have gone and looked at it and realised the problem, you wouldn't have realised.
Well, understanding the problem relates to problem solving in general, which is what engineers typically do. They come in and they understand the problem and design a solution or work towards a situation that improves the situation. The first step in understanding the problem is defining the problem. What is it that we're trying to solve, or what is the problem? If it has occurred, when did it occur? Where did it occur? What is the significance, and qualifying that in terms of safety, in terms of the environment, cost, lost revenue, and the frequency at which it occurs are things that we find are very, very helpful to help quantify what is the problem. A well-defined problem is a half-solved problem. So said Charles Kettering, who in 1929 was the inventor of the first electric starter of an automobile.
All right, so this is what people in the industry, they are thinking of problem solving. Let's start with the gathering data and information. For your very project, yes, the project title or topic being defined within the framework of Engineering Without Borders Challenge. So if anyone in the class still have not explored the map which I compiled regarding Engineering Without Borders Challenge, or they haven't registered, that's too late, but it's better to take it now than leave it unattended. So we have some client with a very limited resources, so the solution, the problems are not difficult. They don't need innovation as such. You don't want to invent anything. More likely people have came up with solutions. So this is just for you to explore what other solutions are available, comparing the solutions and finding which one is suitable, and then going with a practical, feasible implementation of the solution. So first thing first, we have to make distinctions between what is data, what is precision, and what is accuracy. So data, these are the facts, objective facts about the events. And well, whenever there are data, the data could be accurate, they could be precise, but what is the difference between accuracy and what is the difference between precision? So in one figure, you find out that in the first one is data are both precise and accurate. In the second one, the accuracy is not good, but the precision is high. In the third one, we find a low precision, but the accuracy is good. And in the last one, neither the accuracy nor the precision is acceptable. So for every piece of data which you use for understanding the problem or for finding the solution, this applies. You need data, and the data could be precise, could be imprecise, accurate, non-accurate. The next definitions, the key definitions we have to make, these are regarding the information and about the knowledge. What is the difference between information and knowledge? Anyone wants to share a view with us? How do you compare information and knowledge? So someone else has a knowledge, you don't have the knowledge, so that's why you're asking for information. So someone's knowledge is being communicated to you, and that someone else, well, you have to be critical. How sure you are that this information is reliable? You don't have to take any piece of information. People might have wrong knowledge or many other motivation. So this is your responsibility to make sure about the accuracy and precision of the information. Well, knowledge is not that simple. That's a fluid mix of framed experience. People go solve problems, read, learn, and then the outcome, the extract of that is experience. So that framed experience or values, contextual information, these are coming from reading the textbooks, and expert insight. That's what you pay money to consultant, because consultant can provide you expert insight. All right. So these would accelerate you in doing your project. You can't wait to gather that experience. You only have a limited time. So you do need to seek experience, right experience, right information, right knowledge to conduct your project. And this is deep learning. You would integrate that into the knowledge framework, and that would enhance your understanding. Eventually, all these things would help you to understand the problem. So here we have three different universes. One universe, number one, that's the physical world. Okay, this is the reality. So who knows reality? No one knows reality. So we just have perceptions about the reality. All right. So how do you improve that perception? How do you make sure this is better? So the second word is the cognitive word. You don't know anything. Once you learn, how do you learn? You learn that by writing, reading, by taking, and then these are cognitive words. And also the third universe, that is the information world. So examples of that are plenty. Now, I think the concern is there are too much information rather than, once people were concerned, okay, I don't have access to information, right? So many centuries ago, information was limited to a certain class of society, the rich people, the affluent people, they could get information by going to the good schools and getting information there. But today, the problem is there are too much information. And when I say too much information, people cannot make a distinction between what they see in the Facebook, what they see on the YouTube, what they see on the Instagram or social media compared to the textbooks, compared to the interviews, compared to other sources of information. Even artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence is providing you with information, but how reliable these informations are. I would like to emphasize that the responsibility of using the information is with you. If the information is not right and you use them, you bring them to your project and your project goes wrong, you would be accountable. Go on, Shay. What do you want to say something? I'm listening.
Yeah, so I disagree that there's too much information out there. There's a lot of information. Yes, there's a lot that's going against each other and all that, but it is up to you to determine what's right and what's wrong by
Absolutely.
researching and all that. So yeah, I do disagree that there's too much information.
They call this a super information highway Ethernet is called super highway, and it makes the decision making tougher and tougher for you, right? I made a recording with the ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT 3 questions, and I was very surprised with the confidence, how fast the information came to me. And believe me, none of them were correct. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't use those, but I'm saying you have to be critical. And the more information, the tougher your task is. Perhaps today I want to give an awareness to everyone, including myself. Don't be a single source. So don't have a single source of information. If for anything happens, you jump into the Google or ChatGPT, that's not good. So you are relying on a single source. You need to, here I'm presenting you different ways of gathering information rather than super information highway. All right. So this is how people used to gather information. Still, they are very viable, but my main point is be critical to what you hear as a piece of information. Be critical, because once you accept them, that would be your responsibility. Thank you, Shai, for the comment. And right, so how do we go from one universe to another one? Okay, by perception action, you link between the physical world and cognitive world. By writing, reading, you relate the cognitive universe with the information universe, and physical world to the information world. That's by denotation. Also, from physical world or reality to the knowledge. So the action of the knowledge is when you go from real work to the cognitive work. That becomes knowledge. That's an extract. So once you go from the real world to the information world, that's through the data. And between the cognitive information work, you just make documented knowledge. You record the empirical data. So that is identifying information need. So the most important thing for you to understand the problem. Remember, how do we started this lecture? You are trying very hard to understand your problem. Some of you honestly said they're not sure. Okay, so these are for you to make sure. How can you make sure you understand the problem? Just by asking questions. All right? It is naive if you wait for someone like your teacher to tell you what the questions are. So you know the title of the problem. Keep asking questions. These questions are your keys to open the door and be in the same page, in the same room with the client. See the world the way they see it, and share their pain, share their problem, and then use your knowledge, information, experience to solve the problem. That's what it takes. So questions like who, why, how, or what, these would help you to identify the information. And that is why I ask everyone in every group to itemize a number of needs for the project. So if you don't itemize the need, you don't understand the problem, you are not qualified to solve the problem. All right. So the first team activity you do together, that is to sit together, have meeting online, on campus, during the computer labs, and just asking some question. Okay, what my client wants. My client wants a source of energy. Is this going to be mechanical energy, solar energy, electrical? Here I have a question from Rosan. Let me understand his question. Okay, so yes, you will have access to this PowerPoint. That's you find it on week 4. That's in the first tab, lectures. You have access to this one. So by these questions, you can find something measurable, something verifiable. For example, my client wants something that fits on a table of size of 1.5 meter, 1 meter. So that's a need. That's something measurable. That's something verifiable. My client wants something safe. Okay, how safe is safe? That is not easily verifiable. You have to define what you mean by safe. You could say my client wants something to be shielded. Okay, so that is, yes, that is safe, but it is verifiable. But if you say my client wants something durable, okay, durable doesn't mean, that means different things to different people. If you are using such a complex objective, you have to make them measurable, you have to make them verifiable. So things which you could easily verify are things like the total mass, the size, the usage. Is this going to be outdoor? Is it going to be indoor? So all these things start with a question. I'm giving you the cheat. Imagine you're sitting in an exam, and then I'm giving you the question exam. That's a cheat, isn't it? And then I'm telling you, look, you are the person who said the question. Why do you put difficult question? Just make simple question for yourself. Some question that you can implement in week 11. If you go for something unachievable, that won't be wise. All right, I don't recommend you to go on that path. All right, the next thing is how informations are categorized. All right, so you could gather information from different stakeholders just by thinking about the client. The client has concern regarding the timeline. The time is week 11. Things have to be done, presented. Budget. All right, budget here is you have 4 hardworking teammates. That's the budget you have. The other budget you have is you have skilled workers who know about the 3D modeling, who know about exploring the information. You have people who can communicate together. These are the resources. So with the project, yes, the title of project that has been specified. Are you going to adopt or purchase component? So in your case, mostly you want to repurpose what is regarded as waste, something like bottles, something like existing things which are regarded as rubbish. And standards, are there any safety? Are there any regulation you have to abide by? And who are your stakeholders? All right. So in the Aboriginal community, in the Engineering Without Border community, there are some rules, something which has been defined, what context this is being used. So that is, about use of material, the transportation, infrastructure, location, that's context-wise. And are there any senior colleagues who can help you? Yes, you always can approach available information from other experts. You can ask questions from your teacher. If you are not sure about anything, all you have to do is ask. And risk identification, that brings things into control. So think of what I just said. My client wants something safe. So you only have to understand the risk is, the client could have their hands caught between the moving parts. So this is a risk. And that could be a need. And that could be a part of the problem. How can I solve it? Okay, making a shield. How that shield can be added to a solution. And then also management, this is a risk. If people are not contributing to the project, this is a risk. How you're going to mitigate it? More communication, make it formal, make it professional, approaching them, just be quick, be swift. These are minimizing the risk of the management of the project. All right, so these are whatever information you collect, these information have to be organized. These are just one way of organizing the information. You want to put them inside enclosures such as site details, town planning, location, usage. How these things is going to be used? Is this going to be used by an expert? Is this going to be used by a lay person? All right. Detail plan or design criteria. Design criteria is coming from your need list. Once you write down your need list, from that you come up with the design criteria. All right. So here, that is a very important slide. So when I say information, everyone might think Google. Everyone might think of internet, other search engines, artificial intelligence. Well, that is good, but that's not adequate. No way that is adequate. You have to keep in mind with other source of information like documents. So how many people have used conference papers? How many people have ever used journal papers? And also patents are very important. There are two easily accessible patent databases. One is Google patent, the other one is the US patent. So you easily can go there, and by typing the keywords, you find the patents relevant to your problem. And believe me, reading about the patents, that would give you a very fast forward progress toward your project. You don't want to invent the wheel. Only naive people, only ignorant people invent the wheel. Wheel was invented God knows how many thousand years ago. Yes, you might think it is foolish to invent the wheel. Yes, it is. But if with your project you don't go after patents, you don't do enough search, you would be that fool. Okay, so stand on the shoulders of the giant. Start your work not from zero. Start it from someone else's work. Just put your effort on top of an existing development. Also, there are reports. Also, there are practical notes, tutorial like YouTube's. There are also catalogs. There are existing products. You can read about them in their catalogs. And these are rich source of telling you about the needs specification. You don't have to invent them. Also, colleagues can bring information to you. All right. Your teacher can bring advice or information to you. You could have interpersonal communication. Just run some survey. By running some survey, you gather valuable information. Well, you need to know in a normal Aboriginal family how many people are there. Why do you need that? Because you have to evaluate how much waste is being generated by household. The only way you know that is by some statistics. Where do you get the statistics? You can approach people, or these statistics more likely are available. This is just for you to look and find them. Who are your stakeholders? Whether you like it or not, government would be one of your stakeholders. This is something might be overlooked by the client. The client does not necessarily know about the government restrictions. So you want to make a thermal insulation. Your client doesn't know that asbestos is cancerous. Your client doesn't know about the noise limitation. So government put a cap, put some regulation. This is responsibility of the problem solver. Okay, so the person who solved the problem, they are responsible to be informed about the government rules. These are, whether you like it or not, that's a important key stakeholder. People who have a say on how this project is being conducted. Also, the geographic information like GIS, I show you later on, databases, real world coordinates, layers of information, and library search. So as a Swinburne student, you have access to very expensive, very valuable library resources such as ASME, Scopus, Web of Science, electronic databases. These are, you have to pay to get access. These are not like Google. But as a Swinburne student, you can access them freely. So take your chances. If you don't use this information, too bad. And finally, it comes internet search. So internet search is not simply a Google search engine. There are some dedicated internet, such as Google Scholar. I show you how to use Google Scholar or Google Book, Word Catalog. These are just examples of how internet can provide you information. Okay, any question before I proceed? I'm been talking too much. Just let's hear from someone in the class. So any question, anything was not clear, or something you want to add or correct me, just feel free to join. Anyone? All right, let's go on with the patents. All right, here I want to show you what do I mean by patents. All right, Rostan, this is a very naive question. For 4 weeks, I have made a compiled map for you to find Engineering Without Border challenge. And now you're asking me where to find them. Where to find them? Go here. That is, go to this page. And everything you need is just spend half an hour to understand what this page is. Look, you are paying tuition fee to people like me, and I am very thankful. Thanks to you registering in this class, I make all these information readily available to everyone. So if you don't read them, too bad for you, right? So this is something you have already paid for. If you don't go and read what is on Canvas, what else do you have? I mean, you are completing a graduate diploma. Even after 4 weeks, Rostan, you ask me where is Engineering Without Border. That's a very disappointing question. All right, that's the last thing I want to hear from a student. After 4 weeks, day and night, night and day, in every class, in every computer lab, I tell you about Engineering Without Border, and now you ask me, where do I find it? So that seems to me you haven't taken this subject seriously, Rostan, sadly. So I'm just criticizing you, trying to help you. That's not the type of question I expect in week 4. All right, you only have 11 weeks to complete your project, and now after 4 weeks, this is the best indication. If you don't know about Engineering Without Border, how do you know about your problem, how you're going to solve it? You made me very sad. So you just, I expect these valuable information. I want you to read, and then this pre-compiled map, that is just a fast forward start. I try to make this painless, simple for you to start. And this is not a replacement for Engineering Without Border. Once you get started, once this gives you a momentum, you have to keep an eye on the web page and see what information they have over there. All right, I don't know what to say. All right, patents. Let me demonstrate to you what do I mean by patents. I just simply start a browser here, and there are 2 databases for patent. One is called Google Patents. If you type Google Patent, that would take you to where to find them. And here, can I ask, I think Abhishek had a project for a transportable or some kind of energy conversion, right? So in this Google Patents, so imagine someone wants to use wind to generate heat. So here you find heaps of different patents. These are the description of how other people came up with a solution, and they document this as a published work accessible to everyone. So this document is mesh network personal. I mean, this is not, I mean, I just, didn't read that. Maybe you can read an abstract and find which one is suitable. Fitness monitoring device generating power from a locomotive energy, thermodynamic cycle. So wind energy to heat, for example. Okay, how can you classify this? You can classify by popularity. This is by relevance. You can go to the newest, to the oldest. So group, which group was there? This is for, yeah. So just you browse through these headings and when you find something similar to your problem, you can go and study. So patents are very valuable. Also, you can go to the US patents. US patents is more official, and US patent search, this has its own dedicated search engine. Here you can look for registered inventions. By reading through them, you would find about that. The next thing is geographic information. So imagine this is the real world, this is the land usage, this is the elevation. Parcels, streets, customers, and then all these information, they are like layers which are fitting to the real world. The real world has all this information together, but by making them layer by layer, maybe you only need one layer of the information for solving your problem. Maybe that layer is interrelated to other layers, which somehow would impact the way you solve the problem. But geographic information, that's a typical example of how information are in the different layers. All right, so now you want to start a strategy, you want to develop a strategy for doing the search. So I presented to you some typical question you can ask. This question should get you to understand the problem and hopefully to come up with a feasible solution. So this strategy is, you start with a new question, ask yourself, is this in my field? If that is yes, you go and search for information. If not, you ask for a colleague, you ask for a teacher or someone who is more senior, who has experience. And then once you gather the information, it is your responsibility to verify it. And if that doesn't answer your question, you come back and search again. You keep searching unless you find an answer. So this answer, you can go now to the next question. So you can repeat this cycle on and on to formulate the question, to find, to explore, and to find answer for those. So here we call for a pattern. So this pattern, as an acronym, this acronym is called CARDS, C-A-R-D-S. So C stands for credibility. So what you get as a source of information, it has to be credible, okay? And what you gather should be accurate. What you get as information should be relevant. And what you gather should have a date on it. And also you need to know what is the source of information. So I'm going to share with you just a video which I recorded regarding, you might be excited about ChatGPT. I'm not going to discourage you. I mean, still that's a good source of information, but I'm just giving you some examples when things might go wrong. So just bear with me. I pull out that video and okay, here it is. So let's watch this short video together.
Demonstrate a few examples of asking different questions from ChatGPT and the answers provided by ChatGPT. The purpose of this one is to frankly demonstrate to students the pros and cons of the artificial intelligence. And so I make a conclusion at the end, but let's just have a look at the question. The first question is, I asked ChatGPT to recommend me a budget do it yourself glass shade product in Australia, Victoria. And then the answer seems quite reasonable. They said Easy Glass system by EasyJet. When I tried that, there were no website associated specifically to that one. And my next question, without repeating the previous one, was what is their web address? And ChatGPT realized that it is related to the same question, and then that provided it its address. When I tried that, I got a warning that this site might not be safe and approach it on your own risk. And then when I allowed that to be directed, and when solution. And then I got back to it and said, okay, another just please. This time, very confidently, it suggested meaningful solutions on a loop. And when I tried that, that's what happened. There is no such thing existing. So that is kind of concerning. The next example is I asked ChatGPT what are 5 most cited journal papers on approaching tests in the last 10 years. And almost without any pause, ChatGPT suggested all these articles. So let's see how true these claims are. So I'm just copying the title and remembering the author. The first author is Zhang, and the year is 2015. And then I try the title. Okay, no such an exact title there. And even though none of the author names nor the years matches the answer provided by that, maybe this is just an exception. Let's try, for example, the last one. This seems to be published in 2018, and the first author is Sen Gupta. All right. Then here, Sen Gupta. All right. I don't see any Sen Gupta here, nor publication by that date. So it seems ChatGPT is quite a too confident lawyer in providing some of the answers. And to be honest, I have found some very useful answers from the same appealing the system. But my conclusion when I introduce these examples of different ones to my students is that you have to change your hat from a user of information to an auditor of information. So that's a much more sophisticated role. I want them to be critical, thinking about the answers that are being provided with, and making sure the answers are valid and they don't put all their eggs in that basket.
Okay, so that was just example. With the information, the pattern of credible, accurate, relevant date and source or cards should be followed with every source of information to be evaluated. Any questions? Any questions? Have you had any experience using ChatGPT you want to share with us? I mean, did you find it useful? Did you find it reliable? If anyone wants to share something with us, happy to hear it. Just university is not very still in the process of making decisions how to deal with ChatGPT regarding how this can be legitimately used by students. But I think that videos like these videos can tell you that what you read, you shouldn't rely on them. You have to make your own judgment, and then you have to evaluate them. So whenever there is information, some information are coming from the primary source. That is like someone is publishing a finding. They publish that on a journal or in a conference, and this is the primary source. If even in a published work, someone is making reference to information provided by someone else, that is a secondary source. So it is obvious that secondary source is more susceptible to be faulty. Even primary source, I mean, who knows? It has to be tested. It has to be evaluated. And this lecture is a secondary source because I collect all the information from different places, and then I'm presenting that I'm collecting these from the primary sources and giving that to the class. So how do we manage information? All right, so this is not about the evaluation. That is about the management of information. Well, the information should be readily accessible to those who require it. And if you don't manage it, it becomes harder for people to access it. And the best way of managing the information, I mean, this becomes harder and harder. They call this data mining. Data mining, it's an analogy. This is a mine. In the mine, there are heaps of resources. Coal mine, mineral mines, right? So here, these are data mine. And you can't find what you need clearly unless this is being properly indexed. And then the larger the size of the data, the harder it becomes to index them. So in not many years ago, 50 years ago, people went to the library. They had these paper cards being indexed inside the shelves. And then this would classify the information in terms of the title, author, abstract, keywords. And then now the indexing has become digital, and the fields to be indexed are growing and growing and become larger and larger. So what are the metadata? Metadata are what changes are made to data, what amendments are there, what versions are there. And in big companies, there is a department which is called document management. So document management is taking care of the versions. Imagine you are producing technical drawing, and after some time you realize there are some things to be fixed. So you are responsible to gather all the old copies to replace them with a reliable new one. So when it becomes larger and larger, it can't be left to the individuals. It has a dedicated department to run that task, making sure all the informations are updated regarding the manufacturing, regarding the design. Information have to be unbiased. That's one way of managing information. That is why governments are they are setting penalties for providers of information. And then one example of that is in the previous US elections, companies like Facebook, they secretly stored all the preference of the users, and they sold this information to a company, Analytics. Don't know what Analytics, anyone remember the name? But that company used the information for election on behalf of Donald Trump. So without your noticing, sometimes I'm sure it happened to you that you're talking about something next to your smartphone and suddenly you see some advertisement pop up which was related to your prior talking. This is not an accident. This is not accident. So people are using your data. They are making a biased presentation to promote the commercial wheels of the greedy sellers, greedy manufacturers, and these are not good for anything. Not for environment, not for the planet. This is just to fulfill the greedy intentions of the owners of this information giants, information giants. So you have to be more vigilant, more than ever. All right, how do we control access of the information? Well, the first thing is called citation. Citation, when I'm looking into information which has been highly cited, this is an indication this information is reliable. Let me show you something. Let me show you an example. Here, I want to go to the Google Scholar, and here I say, for example, solar panel, right? So here, some piece of information are here. These are publications. These are academic publications. The first one has been cited by more than 800 people. The second one being cited by 300 people. The third one by 180. So which one you reckon is more reliable? Anyone? This is a simple question. If you answer, you make my day. It means you are listening to my talks and I'm not talking to myself. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate it. Yes, Jamie is correct. The first one is more. So in this case, yes, thank you, Warren. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate you being attention to the class. So let's try biofuel. All right. So here I get from Google Scholar, I get 1, 2, 3 source of information. One of them being cited 500 times, 180 times, 300 times. So the first one is the most reliable one. These are not normal citation. This is the citation by people who are experts, right? The person who has written the article about the biofuel is an expert, and the people who have cited it, they are not ordinary people. They are also experts like them. So it means other experts have respect for what they say. So the most respect is with the first one, right? Because 500 more experts have been used this piece of information as a first primary source of information. They provided it as a secondary source of information. And frankly, even if you find a scientific article with 20 citation, 50 citation, that's much, much better than doing a normal Google search. So what you find at Google search, this is being produced by the lay people, by the lay person people. They have minimum, these are anonymous to you. You don't know whether they are experts, whether they are lying, or they are ignorant people. But when you go into journals, conferences, these people, they know what they're talking about. And this publication could be result of expensive research or careful operations. So acknowledging the information is very important. As far as you're concerned, if you don't acknowledge the source of information, that could be either regarded as plagiarism, or it could be something irresponsible, immoral. So you have to acknowledge the source of information. Without that, how on earth someone can evaluate your work? This is a legal thing. So I'm sure you've heard about the intellectual property, or IP. IP, I mean, you have a mobile that is yours. You have a bicycle, you have a car that is yours, but you have an idea. So imagine in this class, 2 different groups, they are doing the same project. They want to construct a windmill. So group 1, they have an idea. The group 1, 2, they have a different one. If that is their idea, it is worthy of being registered. So you go and try to register it. Once you register it, it becomes a registered patent. It takes some time, it takes some money to do that. It's not simple. It's time consuming. You have to go and see lawyers, you have to fill applications, you have to pay registration fees. But why on earth do you want to do that? Anyone can tell me what is the benefit of registering an idea? Well, let me give you an example. Someone came with an idea that, I mean, 50 years ago, the mobile phone, they had a keypad, they have a keyboard. So to type, you have to press physically the buttons to type a letter. Someone came with an idea, okay, let's do it with a touch screen. So touch screen is based on a totally different physics principle. And that simple idea, do you know what that idea means in terms of dollars for the industry, for the manufacturers, for the users? All right. So who should get benefit for it? The first person who steal the idea and implement it. Well, we do need to have some regulation. Yes, you, thank you, Warren. You go and register it. Once you register, that idea becomes yours. That is one way of putting a ownership sticker to an idea. If you don't put a sticker, other people can easily steal it and they can use it without giving you the credit. But if you go through all these extra steps, you spend money, you go and see lawyers and register it. Well, this is like a lottery ticket. The chances are it might mean nothing. No one is interested in your invention. But imagine if some big companies, they are interested in your ideas and they implement it and they are making some money out of that. So legally, they're obliged to pay you according to an agreement. They can't use your idea without your permission. You say, okay, for every Apple phone you're producing, you have to give me 1% of the profit. And that's plenty. Imagine how many products like mobile smartphones, tablets, PCs, they are using the invention. All right. So that is called intellectual property. You have to register it to become eligible to the benefit. I'm not saying benefits are there for everyone, but this is like a lottery ticket. If you don't register it, people can steal it. If you register it and they use it, well, there are chances you get rich, you become millionaire. All right. If you don't acknowledge, if you don't cite, you have plagiarized someone else's work without knowing or not knowing it. ISBN, that is a standard way of just registering things. It's not necessarily an invention. It could be a book. It could be an article. And every registered one which is being indexed, they go into the digital object identifier, or DOI. So very often when we are, okay, let me see the question from Daniel. Let me read the question from Daniel. Yes, 90% of IP are held by global north-rich countries, mean that they may, well, I'm not 100% in agreement with you, Daniel. You know why? Because who stops you from inventing something and registering it? When you register, that is yours. I mean, I understand that in the rich countries, in the north-rich countries, maybe this is the culture. This is the culture. People, when they invent something, they go and register it. Maybe in Africa, people don't know anything about IP, and then they are very clever people. They come with the idea to register, but this is not a culture. No one told them, look, you have to go and register it. I understand most of these patents being registered in the countries you mentioned, but that is more than a culture than anything else. So now I told you about the IP. Who stops you from making an invention and registering it? I mean, of course, you have to pay the price. You have to go through the steps, but this is the mindset. If people have that mindset, okay, the idea can have ownership. So in some poor countries, people see this as a luxury. They say, okay, yes, my horse is my own, my property, but my idea is not my property. In rich countries, they say, oh, yes, this idea can be owned. I don't want anyone else to use my idea. It might seem selfish, but yeah, this is one way of making money. This is one way of converting information to wealth. So technology is being defined as science is there. If you can convert science to money, that is called technology. Okay, did I answer your question, Daniel, or you still want to just does that make sense to you, Daniel Kosi?
Well, yes, sir. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I'll just reply, but I mean, I still think there are a lot of issues with IP, though, like in general, that like I know a lot of countries that did industrialize, like the United States actually stole IPs or whatever from Europe to industrialize it, all that, right? So then, like, seeing other countries do the same thing, though, I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know, how do you claim ownership over an idea, though? It's a bit,
Well, yes, that is you have a problem. You are working in a metal. This is a workshop. You're working there, and you are doing a job which is you repeat and repeat. That's very dangerous. That's very laborious. And then, as a result of you repeating that things, you come up with an idea. You come up with a shortcut. You say, okay, if I do it this way, that would save me time. That would save me labor. That would is safer, that would be more cleaner, that would be more uniform. So that is an invention. So inventions always have some motivation. This is not people are having a barbecue and say, okay, I want to invent something. People have some real problems and they deal with that problem for years and years. And due to their experience, due to their exposure, they feel the pain. They want to remove that pain. They invent something. And the more real that invention is, the more chances of making that noticed by the industries. Okay, so someone who invented the touch screen for a smartphone, yes, they had a problem which, yeah, that's a problem for many people. But you might have a problem, say, okay, I want to make a how to thread a needle. You make an invention, but how many people these days are interested in threading a needle? You see the difference? But yes, this is the value of the problem. The more valuable your problem, the more valuable your invention, the more chances that an industry pays you money. And also Massimo made the point, benefit of creating competition which would cause more innovation. Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Massimo, for that. So yes, competition is good. Different people invent different ideas for solving the same problem. Which one gets more attention? The one which is more practical, the one which is simpler, the one which is more effective. And if companies wants to pay someone royalty or a percentage or sign a contract, they sign it with the invention which is more practical, more effective. So as far as you're concerned, all I'm saying is, look, there are heaps of registered inventions. And then you don't have to pay them for using your project. Look, after 5 years, those registered ideas, when they become old, everyone can use them even without permission of the owner. Okay, so for your case, you can definitely go and use the registered IPs and use them for your project. I don't want you to start from scratch. That's my point. Everyone follows that. I don't want you to think that this is the first day of creation. No one has solved this problem before. That's silly. That's ignorant. If someone tries to invent the wheel, you always want to search, and don't limit your search by Google. Go for patents. Go for registered intellectual properties. All right, so here, this is the way you register things at the end of the document. So that is how you put at the bibliography. Have you ever asked yourself, how do I put that citing in this format? Anyone in the class has an experience with using citations, bibliography references? Have you used this in your high school or in other assignments? Do you know how to use them? Okay, Jamie, do you have a microphone? Do you want Alex? Anyone wants to explain? Massimo, Alex, Jamie, please use your microphone and explain it to class. We are happy to hear from you.
So you basically put in, if it's a website, you put in the name of the website. If there's an author, you write the author, the link, the date it was published, and the date you retrieved it and stuff.
Yes. Did you use a software for doing that, Jamie? Did you use a software for organizing the reference, or did you just type them letter by letter?
There's a Google extension I use that just does it for me, but it does an APA, so I'm not sure if that's the right format.
Yeah. Let me show you what I mean. This is very important. Site form website works. Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Alex. Appreciate it. Alex has an experience. Site this for me website. Very good. Thank you, Alex. I never noticed that site for me website, but I'm showing Harvard or APA. Very good, Alex. I'm impressed. Let me show you something, Jamie. I use the okay. Jamie have used the same thing. Cite this for me. I'm going to show you something similar. Look, this is a plugin. That plugin is called Google Scholar. You can install this for free to any browser, whether you are using Firefox, Chrome, or Edge, whatever. This plugin is free. You can add it here. And once you add here, I try something. And imagine I want to say compression test evaluation. All right, so I'm looking for a paper which has this keyword. Here I find something which is cited 59 times. Okay, I want to add this one at the end of my document. Here, simply I click that site, and here this is being organized in MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver, and all I have to do is I want that I can copy and paste it from here, or I can send it to software like EndNote, like BibTeX, Ref Manager, RefWorks. I have EndNote installed on my computer, and as a Swinburne student, you can get a free copy of the EndNote. EndNote is not free. EndNote is you can get a educational license for this one free of charge, and I show you EndNote here. So this is my EndNote, and in my library I have already entered 2,400 references. So here, for example, that reference is being set as, if I copy it, copy formatted, okay, and then I paste that inside a blank document. When I copy format it and paste it here, that's how does it look like, all right? Or alternatively, I can start writing blah, 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 and in between, I want to make a citation. Because this software is being installed, I go to the EndNote that is inside the Word, and here I call insert citation. And then imagine I'm looking for something published by Abitzer. That's the name of the author. So all these are within my reference. I click this one, a friction, that's an old publication, and I say insert, and see what happens. It automatically puts a number here, and that citation comes at the end of my document. And then I keep typing blah, 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 blah. And then here I want to insert a cite from someone else. So that could be this guy, for example. I want to add it here. So this number goes here, and then automatically the citation comes at the end. And see what happens if I bring that one backward and this one forward. And then that would update the numbers. I go to the EndNote and say update. Now, the order has changed. Brush has become the first one. So this is, I mean, in two references is not a big deal, but imagine you are writing a chapter of the thesis with 200 references. That makes a big difference. Just it facilitates your work. So the software is called EndNote. Maybe that is overkill for this subject. Maybe because you have to learn, you have to teach yourself how to use this software. But when you know, it can be integrated inside the Word, and that saves you lots of effort. Okay, now let's move on. I mentioned that the first group submission, the first assessment as a group work. Yes, Mansoor, go on, I'm listening.
I had a question regarding that EndNote. Where do we get the link for that? Do we just search up EndNote to download that, or
just type Swinburne EndNote? It should provide you with a link. I mean, I might be able to just do it for you right now. Yeah, that is where you can download and install it, right? So EndNote Online or EndNote for Windows and Mac. So fortunately, we have license for both Mac system and Windows system. So you can download it here and install it on your PC or Mac. If you have a Microsoft Word, that would integrate itself inside. And then the next thing you need, Mansoor, is EndNote. When you start it, is blank. So the references, for example, when I get them here, I go to the site. I would ask them to be imported as EndNote. And then this is what happens. Then I get an entry. This entry can be appended to my EndNote, or you generate a new library called Mansour, for example, something, and then any reference you want, you store them over there, and then you can bring them from here, or you can directly use them for reporting without EndNote by using that plugin, or other people mentioned that was Cite This For Me website. Okay, thank you, Mansour. All right, so here the first group assessment task, you have to do it in groups. You want to discussing the needs and what information you are finding, and you just ask yourself, where do I get this information from? And then you evaluate the information like what I did. Imagine I showed you the video, different type of information I gathered from ChatGPT, and they were not reliable. So you have to do that with every piece of information. And then cite 5 source of information, and then you can upload that in the list of your Canvas group. Let me trust that you can do this within your group later on. At this stage, I want to go on with when you collect all these questions, answer for this question, evaluate the answers. These are the ideas. You verify them, and then you generate a concept. So when I say you generate a concept, that's what I mean. Here, people wanted to, the problem was to make a swing. So these are different concepts. Having 2 ropes connected to the branch with 3 platforms, or 1 platform, 3 ropes, or where this has to be fixed. So these are different concepts, right? Not all concepts are feasible, not all concepts are good, but this concept is the best one, all right? You can do the very same thing for your own projects. That is called the concept generation. So once you generate the concept, you have some options on the table. The next step is you have to select. You have to select the concept. And then, do you need to generate concepts? No, in your case, you don't have to invent the wheel. Your problems are very established questions. People have already made solutions for those. So within an 11 week, you don't have time for making an invention. You never know when that invention comes. Maybe it comes tomorrow, maybe it never comes. Maybe it comes after 2 years. We can rely on that. And then from all these concepts, you evaluate and just select one. That is called the reduction. And then once you select the concept, that is, you freeze it, and with that particular concept, let it be the swing, which I showed you. You freeze that concept, and then you go to 3D modeling and virtual manufacturing. So to design a concept, the concept generation is not detailed. That's just a rough idea. Detail only is added to the concept which is worthy of development. Some concepts are not worthy of development. So you only add detail to one concept which is feasible, which is evaluated, that's the best concept among many other solutions you have. And these concepts should match the project specification. And you go for proof of concept. So proof of concept could be as simple as drawing a diagram, writing an equation, or sometimes proof of concept could be a 3D printing. So you want to spend millions of dollars to produce a part. So it's worthy of to making a prototype as a proof of concept. That prototype, the easiest way is sometime by 3D printing. 2D, 3D sketches for every concept. And then the more and the newer the technology, the risk is higher. If a technology has been there for many years, it's not risky. If that's a new technology, yes, there are lots of risks to be considered. And if you want to score, between 0 to 5 to the technology risk. That's something you have to consider. And also there are risks associated with the purchasing. Some items, they might be just monopolized. They're not selling that to other countries. Something might be the subject of the sanctions. Some people cannot have access to some technologies, and you can purchase them, or even you can buy them, but from the day you pay, it takes months and months for these purchased things to be delivered to you. So this is a high risk. We call them the long lead items. And also there are risks for planning. So you have multiple deliverable items between a goal and delivery. You have to plan. So from previous goal, you go to the new goal, and from this new goal becomes previous, and then you have a new goal ahead of you. So between any two goals, there are objectives you want to meet. These are the check boxes you want to check. And when you are doing the planning, it has to be smart. What do I mean by smart? Smart is another acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and trackable. So this is the cases. In week 11, people are presenting their project. They go about something with the planning which is not specific, something which is not measurable. So it's not achievable, it's not relevant, it's not trackable. So we do have dedicated session regarding the planning. That was a recorded session for last week. I strongly suggest everyone go and rewatch that video. It tells you how you can plan your project, how can you manage your project. And so scoping of the project is also very important. What is the difference between scoping the project and writing the need list? A scope is capping the project, saying, look, what I'm doing is for a household purposes. This is not for industry. What I'm doing is for outdoor, is not for the indoor. So it is as important to state what you do as to say what I don't do. That's a scoping. In the scope, you not only tell people, look, that is what I do. You tell them this project is limited. It only delivers something. It doesn't deliver something else. If you want something to fly to the moon, this project is not for flying to the moon. That only is to convert the waste to the biogas. All right. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Very soon you have a group assessment. In collaboration together, you have to formulate a need list, a specification list. You have to scope your project. You have to write how these needs are related to the specification. So make sure you are equipped, so with the knowledge, with the skills. If you are not, go back and rewatch the recorded sessions, or the slides are available every time you want to see them quickly. And here, that is with the scope statement. You define what needs to be done, what is excluded from the project. Both of them are important. What you exclude, what you include, both of them are important. It has to be clear where does it start and what are the boundaries, what are the assumptions. So you, in that scoping, include all needs of the stakeholders. All right. And if your project is well defined, if that has a clear boundaries, it has clear scope, then it would help you with designing, with the cost, with the management. And so you don't want to make your project like a never-ending stories. You only have up to week 11. Make sure you can accomplish these. And that is called CARE. Constraints, assumptions, related issues, exclusions. That's how you scope your project. And here you ask a question why. That tells you about your objective. And you ask how. That is the care constraint, that's the scope. And what, that is what you deliver. So what you deliver is a 3D model, is a virtual manufacturing of a concept which has been given relevant details, is being acceptable, is feasible, it has all the information, it has all needs of the different stakeholders accommodated. Okay, now we have something like half an hour left. And in this half an hour, you can just chat with your teammates. You can discuss about the topics we presented today. How do they relate to your project? And between now and 12:30 end of class, if you have any question, I'm here on the standby mode and listen to your questions, answering you. But I understand some of you with your teammates, they are not on the same computer lab. So this is your chance. This is the chance you can text to them, you can talk to them. And right, so let me finish the attendance one more time, making sure I didn't lose any name. I'm just reading the name of people who are recorded as absent. If that changed, let me know. I'm happy to amend this for you. So according to my list, Alian is away. Alian, and also all right. Ashwin Joshi. Ashwin Joshi is away. Ashwin, are you in? Let me see if Ashwin is in. No, Ashwin is away. Also, Harry is away. Harry is away. And Ching Ting Lu is away. Yes, Ching Ting Lu is away. Irshad away. Irshad is not in the class. Muhammad Malik is away. Nick is away. And Solochana is away. And Saliza away. Martin away. Don Gavin is away. And Sahar Sharma is away. Vitursan away. And Noah Abraham away. Delena away. And Feyang Zi away, Mr. Feyang Zi. And Omar Zahid away. And Chenling away. Mark Rafil away. All right, so today we discuss about the understanding the problem. So make sure you have enough meeting with your teammates to define the problem, to understand the problem from perspectives of all stakeholders. If you are not sure in computer labs, make sure you see me, and then I try to offer you some support to finalize definition of the problem, so you can start choosing the concept, finalizing, and going for virtual manufacturing. All right, before I go to the standby mode, if there is any question, please let me know. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. And yes, I'll be standby between now and 12:30. Just make a yell, send me a chat or whatever, and I'm here to answer for you. Take care, and I look forward to see you in our computer lab. Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Masumi. Thank you, Daniel. Chandrit, Jack, Shay, Minhai, Hoy, Eshin, Varun, Mansur, Rajiv, thank you. Anjana, thank you. Kai, Rostan, thank you.
Hey, so I had a question regarding that. This is not about this class, this is about the other class, Energy in Motion. Or I had a question regarding that prac. So that prac is due next week, right, on Friday?
Yes?
So we're gonna because I had a few questions regarding because I didn't understand a few things. So who should I ask?
Well, I'm your tutor. You have to ask me first. All right?
Okay, yeah.
And the way you can do is just by sending me email asking what you want clarification for, or you can come to my consultation time, which is tomorrow, 10:30 to 12:30 in the student hub, TD 140. You can meet me there, or like always, send me an email. I'm happy to answer your question.
Okay, no worries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansoor. Bye.